KBBBL podcast. Where the extra B is for BYOBB.
Where's my elephant?
Hey, try and keep it down, guys, okay?
Hey, shut up.
Welcome
I
to
love that. Hey, shut up.
KBBBL
He's so
podcast,
submissive. So
where we will not quiet down. And the extra B is for BYOBB. But what's that extra B for?
bachelor party strippers, which were curiously absent from my bachelor party, but I forgive you.
Didn't we shoot
We
each
could
other
always
with
have a
paintballs? That was
second
fun.
bachelor party.
Actually, my dad made a hilarious joke because I told him we were going out to that cottage in Jador, and he was joking about strippers. He's like, I bet the strippers in Jador wear fucking big fishing boots.
You could always have a second bachelor.
Nova Scotia cut there, people.
They renew their vows, but why can't you just renew your, bachelor party?
It's true. Well, I'm not married anymore, and hopefully someday again, so I have a chance for a redo.
That's why we could do it. You're a bachelor.
All right, Francis, I didn't want to put
but
this
you're
so
not.
forward on the podcast, but let's get
Uh-oh.
married, dude.
Okay,
Right.
let's just
No,
do
no.
it. Let's fuck.
I can't.
As we
Listen,
said.
guys, we gotta stop ignoring what's going on here. Me and Baker
Yeah.
are gonna get married.
There's a lot of chemistry that Davan keeps getting in the way of here.
Yeah, I know. It's
True.
just he's just. We'd be much better off
Why
alone in
Wow.
the cabin.
dark tones, so you guys won't even notice me. You guys can just have
I
your little thing
I
here,
can't.
and I'll just carry the show.
Yeah, you're doing the heavy lifting, dude.
Who am I? I'm your host, the Spanish Exposition, and with me is my clock punching ilk, who I don't mind telling you made asses of themselves hitting on the new girl in valve maintenance.
She was
Oh,
into it.
man.
Animal magnetism.
Sorry, that's problematic.
And self-styled Valentino.
Yeah, I was very close to naming myself Animal Magnetism. So
So
it's
was
good.
Davan, he said too.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I think we all got pretty good ones. What was it? Cool Cat near the end. The guy said something about a cool cat. I thought that was nice too. Or Swinging Cat. One of the swingingest cats in Springfield. But,
Yeah, something like that.
We've had some fun quotables this episode.
Yeah,
Although the
it's a
intro
fun
quote
one.
was my favorite. The intro quote's still my favorite, where he's like, shut up, Lee.
It's so dismissive.
Well, let's talk about all of that.
With a cool glass of turnip juice.
Oh, you know what? We jumped right under the turnip tree, but we didn't even say we're here to review season 1, episode 10, Homer's Night Out.
We're at 10 episodes already. This is crazy.
Very
Written
professional
by-
podcast.
Written by John Beatty and directed by Rich Moore.
Yeah. You can
All
see
right,
a lot of
back
the
under
same
that trend.
directors recurring in these seasons.
Mhm.
Again, kind of an unheralded role in Simpsons production, but definitely these guys. Everybody, they're all firing at all cylinders with this show, especially going into season 2. So kudos to him.
They're just a victim of the fact that it's not hard to be overshadowed by the voice actors or writers on this show.
Yeah. We could also go down a rabbit hole with Matt Groening and how much credit he really deserves relative to, say, Sam Simon or we'll save that for another day, perhaps. Anyway, how's that turnip juice, guys?
So did you guys BYOBB, or are you drinking the turnip juice tonight?
Yeah, no, it's after January, so I'm back on the wagon. I think I've had the hunky dory on the show.
Oh, isn't
before,
that
by
hunky
Boxing
dory?
Rock. Yeah, but it's a good go-to standby pale ale as opposed to an India pale ale. He's nice and drinkable. I like it a lot.
Boxing Rock is solid if you can get your hands on it.
They are. Any Boxing Rock's a solid choice, really. It's a good all-around brewery.
My backup beer is the Boxing Rock Vickers Cross.
Vickers Cross. Cool names too. I like their
Hell yeah. And there's the cool history of the name Boxing Rock too, where they used to send squabbling sea captains. It's like they can work it out or like stay there when the tide comes in and the island disappears. But I'm also drinking the Pollyanna from Two Crows.
Perfect,
now.
perfect. See, Davan has
Yeah.
two, so this covers me not having one because
Mhm.
I'm no fun and I don't really
I was
drink.
there for
By
you,
the way.
Baker. That's
I
all
know.
right, Baker.
Yeah.
That's me and Francis's thing.
What you should do, Davin, is I should send you some money, and then you should buy me a little gift basket, and I'll like stash them in the fridge, and then like every
I'll
so
do
often,
that.
that's a fun idea
I
because
will
I
take
never
you,
think,
sir, to
yeah,
Flavor Country.
yes.
You ever been to Flavor Country? Because I
No.
know the
I'd love to
directions. Let me
go.
tell
I'd love to go. That or the land of chocolate.
But isn't Flavor Country
Um,
supposed to be a euphemism for cigarettes? Davin just shows up with a bunch of packs of smokes for Baker, and he's, this is what I meant, man. Like, that's. I thought you knew what
Dark
Flavor Country
cigarettes.
was all about.
Don't tempt me. Anyway,
Superfan
how
Sam
you?
asked a good question. Now, Francis, will you have any tech issues tonight?
It appears not. I bought a laptop because as a
Hey,
grown
nice.
person, you should probably have one. I always just relied on my work one, but I recently had to switch jobs. Even though I will be getting a laptop at this job as well, but I said it's about time I stopped relying on work tech to get me through life. It seems to be working
Not
fine.
always the
Thank
best
you, sir.
laptops there, those work laptops either.
Dude,
Sometimes not. The
congrats
last
on
one's
the
really
new-
good. It was what you call. I mean, I don't use Apple. What do they call them? The MacBook Pro, such and such. It was a very good laptop, but I have no idea what I'll be getting at this place. So,
Hey, nice man.
Mhm.
Congrats on the new hardware. I gotta upgrade my mic soon. I know you need this one back, Davin. I got a couple things I want to get for this, not just for the podcast, but just for quality of life for my own setup. But yeah, things are
Also
going
for the
well with me.
podcast and its many fans.
Yeah, oh yeah. There are dozens, I'm sure. Coming
There could be a dozen.
woodwork now. Hey, shout out to our wonderful fans. I know Sam was just talking to us earlier in the chat. He's one of the ride or dies, but for sure we love you guys and girls. From a personal perspective, not too much to change for me. There's the Body Worlds exhibit at the museum, which is kind of
happy
fun.
birthday, Sam.
Oh yeah, happy birthday to Sam. But yeah, at the museum we have like the cool exhibit. It's plastinates, so they're human bodies that have been preserved with like plastic.
Yeah, you were just telling us about that. That's crazy. Francis is
Yeah,
like, hey, Baker,
100%.
should I take my kid to this thing? And he's just like, well, you just don't have to tell them they're real bodies. And we're just like, what?
The real body. I thought they were models, 100%. And you're like, one strategy for the kids is to tell them that they're just models. And I was like, they're not models. And you're like, no, they're real bodies. That's insane.
So it's like a modern version of
insane.
mummification almost. Essentially, the way it works in the 80s, there was this patent made for plastination, and you just replace the vital fluids with this plastic, like plaster material. It holds them in place. They're not subject to decay or anything really like light exposure, air exposure, anything like that. There's no smell. So they color correct some things like the blood. It doesn't look red after the body's deceased, but they color correct that. The eyes are made out of glass because you can't really preserve that. But like, yeah, the muscle tissue, the bones.
Too many
flesh.
sweet eye juices.
That's
to preserve
insane.
those.
Yeah. Oh,
have
dude,
people
it's
been bringing? Have people been bringing kids though? Is it
Yes,
family friendly?
there
Okay,
is.
cool.
Yeah.
It's
So
not too
it's one of the,
scary.
yeah, I think a lot of times the adults are more weirded out by it because it's so surreal to be standing in front of these bodies and to know, oh wow, these were real people. And they all are volunteers. That's the other thing that's important to take note of. There's no grave snatching. There is actually another exhibit in Florida that uses plastination, the patent for it, that buys dead prisoners from China. So there is kind of like an ethical question that can be brought up. But in the case of the Body Worlds exhibit, the guy Gunther von Hagens, who invented plastination and who runs the exhibit, he's a bit of an eccentric dude, but all the bodies are volunteers, and yeah, there's like 10,000 plus people on a waiting list to get turned into a plastinate model.
What?
So yeah, so I kind of
It's just me on the list 8,000 times.
Yeah, well, because it's a way that you can preserve your body and then contribute to our understanding of anatomy. long after you're gone. So it's kind of cool.
Wow.
Weird, but
That is cool.
Sam says apparently if you pour a lime over a dead body, it will disappear. What will, the lime or the dead body?
Yeah.
Talking about?
What about
Oh, I see
what
the
about
problem. He's
lime-shaped
drinking
rocks?
Mike's hard blue freeze.
Yeah.
Hey, right now, Sam, put that down. Actually, throw it away. Pour it down the sink. You're not that far from us. You can get some of the stuff we're talking about on this show. Run to the store,
That's
go
true.
get it.
Yeah, it's
Drink
true.
that.
All right, Davan. Anything for you to update, or should we hop into this episode?
I started planting seeds. I'm embracing spring, even though it's minus 35 out. That's
Nice.
all that's new for me, really.
There's a
I mean,
little
the
gardening
baby,
meme.
the baby is talking up a storm these days. Learning several new words a day now. It's amazing. And it's
Exciting.
adorable.
That's awesome. Very happy for you, you and the fam. That's great.
Yeah, that's me. I'm just family man, dad, and that's the Spanish exposition, as they say.
Yeah, man. Well, me and Francis,
All right.
we can we do enough heavy lifting for the both of you. For
Yeah,
you,
that's
and
fine. Don't worry.
Don't mind if I do.
Phenomena.
Let's get it going. Well, the introspection, actually. So, what does Bart say this time? He says, "I will not call my teacher
hot cakes." Wow. Very, very sassy, Bart.
What if your teacher
Well,
is
especially-
hotcakes? Like one,
But it's
Edna
Kerbopple though. Kerbopple's not okay. Well, this is a mixed thing because Kerbopple's supposed to be old and haggard, yet
No,
simultaneously
she's not.
there's that time where
Sort of
Sideshow
this
Bob is
sultry,
like,
middle-aged woman.
yeah, or Bob is like, that was Edna Kerbopple. You only get one chance with Edna Kerbopple.
Exactly. No,
Yeah,
man. I
she's-
think she's
One of the
like
big
a swinging
bachelorettes in
single lady.
Springfield. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
She's no Patty or
then-
Selma, that's for sure.
The coach gag, they break it.
Yeah. Didn't we see this one already? Or is this the first time we see them breaking the couch?
No, they repeated it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is going to get more interesting as we go into season 2, where they start getting more creative with these intros. Right now, there's kind of like,
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think the still coach gag as we know it and love it still hasn't evolved into that. It's like you said, Baker, it's kind of this thing to eat up,
Filler.
subtract to or add time to the episode depending what they need. It hasn't really become that, hey, we can really make this funny every time and do something different, right?
lightning in a bottle. You know, they didn't plan everything. Some things kind of just grew organically out of what they were doing and worked really well.
Yep. All right, well, let's get into this breakdown. All right.
Homer's
so-
239 pounds.
Yes, that's true.
Which, you know
okay,
what?
that's-
For the way they ride him off as being such a fat guy, like 239 is not that big of a dude. I mean, I weigh like
He's not
200.
exceptionally
Like, you know,
tall or
and I-
fit either.
Yeah. I mean, I work out and shit, so that's part of it, but it's like 239 is not that large of an individual. You know what I mean? At least not by
He's
He's
a
Jason.
not, he's not like comic book
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
I think the poor young thing has the hots for yours truly.
Homer.
Just keeping you on your toes, babe.
Now, my question is, should Homer be keeping Marge on her toes the very next episode after she almost left him for a French bowler?
Wow, those French, they have a way with words, you know, very suave.
Yeah. Doesn't Albert Brooks come back soon as well?
I hope so, man. He's just.
I
been
think where
chilling.
Bart goes to France, I think he does. I could be wrong. about
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, my God. I forgot about that episode. That's nuts.
Something with Al Brooks and French people. But yeah, I think that Homer is
from now
definitely
on,
pressing.
exercise every morning, Homer.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what is he even doing?
That makes me laugh out loud every time he does it.
I
Like,
I
and
say
it
the
always
same
has.
thing.
I've seen this episode 100 times, but every time Homer just goes,
Yeah, those
Yeah, I laugh.
weak, impotent twists of the upper body. I say the same thing every time. You can enjoy the show just listening to it, but like it really does
Yeah.
reward you for watching as well, because that's another great little
Oh, yeah.
visual gag just his inept, his inability to really do a proper. Well, I don't even know what
It's
it
not even them
whatever
trying to
he's trying to do.
do a funny version of like a known exercise or anything. It's just like we're all dumbfounded about what he was actually trying to do. Like,
A gime. Oh, a gime.
oh God,
Yeah, that's a good one.
He doesn't go to the game. Well, that's something I've said to Francis about 5,000 times.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite Simpsons moments as well.
That's probably worn that one out.
No, I know. Nothing Davin likes more than berating somebody who goes to the gym for some reason. It's like, you want to come over for a beer? No, I'm going to the gym. Oh, you're going to the Gime, you fucking asshole.
What kind of
Jesus, man.
What kind of low life?
Just trying to better myself.
Yeah, bettering themselves instead of
try not to shit out your liver while doing squats at the Gime.
Don't worry, I wear a belt. That's what it's for. It holds your organs in place.
That's good. That's good.
Well, from now on, exercise every morning, Homer.
Don't strain yourself, dear.
Good idea, Marge.
Yeah.
I do like this little sort of
made
like
an ass of himself
Homer
putting the
Marge,
moves
like
on a new girl in valve maintenance.
I do like their little like morning routine playfulness with each other. Oh, just keep you on your toes, babe. Like you don't in later episodes you don't see as much of that. There's like a lot more like known resentment. There's a little less of this like trying to just show them having regular morning like couple interactions, right?
Yeah, regular early 30s couple. Kind of frisky early morning, like, or is it?
Yeah, kind of it, teasing each other a little bit because he'll say how he's out of shape, and then she's like, "Oh, well, she gives him some kind of compliment and kisses him a bit, and he's like, "Yeah, you're right, I'm going to work out." Right? There's a little playfulness there, and it's kind of like gone in the later seasons, right?
I like how this early stuff in this episode plays back later in the episode. Like if you pay attention to all the details.
Oh, it recycles.
Isn't he your assistant?
No, it's my supervisor.
Didn't he used to be your assistant?
Hey, what is this? The Spanish exposition?
What is this? The Spanish exposition?
That's a pretty funny moment as well. One, that Homer got leapfrogged by somebody else in the power
somebody
plant.
used to make fun of, yeah.
Now he has to go to his bachelor party.
And then two, what is it? He says the Spanish imposition,
or exposition or something.
Exposition.
Yeah,
oh my God.
It's the exposition.
Still, either way, malaprism. Is that how you say it? Malaprism. Just like when you're like misquoting something. The Sopranos, they do that quite a bit. It's very, very funny. I'll try to think of an example later. Good show.
So then it cuts to Bart, who's flipping through a comic book, which I might talk about later. And he finds a spy camera that he would like to purchase. And he orders away for his spy camera, and then we cut to like weeks later, which I thought's funny because we're in season 1 already, and it cuts ahead actually it's like months. It's like 2 months later. But they never aged, so it's like you can't really cut 2 months ahead in The Simpsons.
Where's my spy camera? Where's my
That was
spy
a good
camera?
gag. I liked that.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah, hit us with the clip, Dad.
Uh-oh, it's the female man. Female carrier bark.
I don't think either of those are correct.
At least he's trying.
Oh man, I laughed out loud during that one too. It's the female, and I forgot about that line. I didn't forget this.
Lady, where's my spy camera? Where's my spy camera? Where is my spy camera, lady?
6 months.
Where is my spy camera?
Where's my spy camera?
Where's my spy camera?
Here's your stupid spy camera.
Oh, thanks, man.
He's genuinely thankful too when he gets it.
The voice actress doing that delivery lady sounds like the same person who does Reverend Lovejoy's wife.
Oh, 100% it is.
Yeah.
Which
Gotta love the
probably,
versatility of these actors.
Or
voice actors.
Now, but she's like she comes up on later on the credits usually.
I gotta get flashcards for this shit.
Yeah. So yeah, Bart gets his spy camera and he's having lots of fun and hijinks.
Yeah.
Ew, gross. Mom, Bart was taking a picture of his butt.
It's Bart.
I mean, what if you have discomfort down there? Like it's a way to check, for.
Gotta show the doctor what's happening. Lots of in these early seasons, lots of stuff about Bart's ass, though, in terms of him being a badass. Like he likes mooning people, photos of his butt. Like it's a lot of.
That's what we're all here for. Is the hardcore nudity.
Nudity.
Yeah, not the butt.
Oh man.
Yeah. So then, Marge decides she's going to take the kids to the Rusty Barnacle since Homer's not going to be around for supper. So, coincidentally, that happens to be where Homer's bachelor party.
What are the chances?
Probably not too many places that do family restaurants and bachelor parties in Springfield, but
Springfield's so ambiguous in size. We later see that Homer goes to like the dive district, and there's like a ton of different places that Homer and Bart check out.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too. Like in some ways, it's supposed to be a small town, but it's also got like every piece of geography you could ask for. It has its own complete red light district. Like
I think it's a city. Springfield, in my opinion, has too much going on. It has to qualify.
They had a bum town.
Yeah, it's like Halifax size.
Say it a Crackton.
So, like, for listeners who aren't aware, like Halifax is like 500 or like 700,000 now. It's like it's increasing.
No, it's like not even quite.
It's like half a mil or a little more, isn't it?
Okay, so maybe it's like 400.
Like 400, like 77,000 is a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. There. It's not a town. Is how I. And I don't think Springfield is meant to be a town. It has a dog race track. It has the sports stadium.
Dog race track. No, well, that's horses.
Yeah, they used to have a horse track in Sackville.
Sackville Downs.
Yeah.
But there's also the one episode. This is later Simpsons, but it still always sticks out in my mind. It's the same episode that has the Carl Carlson statue that Lenny carves. But there's the joke in the episode: Springfield Desert is 3 times the size of Texas, which is the most absurd geographical thing. The Texas is insanely large.
Okay, 3 times the size of Texas, it would be like a third of the USA.
And that is the first episode. That's the first episode to even mention that desert.
See, but is that funny because that's impossible, or is that funny because the underlying jokes that they're so stupid they don't even know how big their own desert is, and they think it could be that large?
No,
that's true. Yeah, she would be accurate, right? She would be accurate.
Oh, yeah, true. She would.
I gotta make sure that I'm not imagining that. That's what she says because it's so absurd. It always stuck out in my mind.
Better fact check that.
This evening, I shall go for the squid platter. Ew. With extra tentacles, please.
No, Bart.
Extra tentacles, please. What, they just chop the tentacles off another squid and put it on his plate?
I guess so.
Hey, dude, you probably got a bucket of extras. You know how it is when you're dicing up squid.
They just take it out of the chowder bucket.
Cephalopods, man, they get squishy.
Well, Marge complains about the ruckus happening in the room next door. And as we heard off the top there, the guy asks them to quiet down, and Homer tells him to shut up.
He says aye to Marge.
Presenting Princess Cashmere, Queen of the Mysterious East.
Famed boxing announcer, Mo, introducing Princess Cashmere. And what's funny about this scene at the bachelor party is how much Fisk and his father are not enjoying it.
Yeah, it's nothing that they would want.
No, they seem like very wholesome, nice people.
Yeah, he's telling this story. He's just like, and what I thought, how did my son get the money to buy me a Father's Day present? I opened the box, and it was his baseball glove. His
that's
favorite
sweet as fuck. Come on.
Like, nobody cares.
No, nobody cares, but that's so wholesome. They're the wrong crowd for that.
Wrong crowd for sure.
Now this is what I call a party.
How do I tell you this, my boy? We're in hell.
He sounds like Jasper.
He does. That's the same.
He does sound like Jasper. Yeah, for sure.
Also, there's a great little moment I think we just would have encountered where when Princess Cashmere is exiting, or rather entering the room where they all are, if you look really closely, there's a guy angrily washing dishes in the background. Great little detail. She's just like literally coming out of the kitchen area.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, it's
There's
great little
Princess
hidden
Jasmine, yeah.
Easter eggs. I mean, as far as Simpsons characters go, she's pretty good looking, I guess. Like, I'm not really attracted to
Well, sure. You're not attracted to
yellow
Princess
skin.
Cashmere? You are.
Well, yellow skinned, four-digited. You know, it's just kind of freakish. I'm
Get
sorry.
into it. Get into it.
Listen, man, the freaks need love too.
Oh, this is the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Uh-oh.
Bart gets a spy camera shot of him.
Yeah. If you happen to hear that little sound, people, that's the spy
Bart
camera
is
going to
honestly,
work.
he's too good with the camera. Nothing really bad
He's
happens
good.
to Bart except he's too good with the camera. He's a spy.
Well, and it
He
almost
gets very-
cost him his nuclear family, but
Yes, but that's purely because he's really good with the camera and he gets the shot. You know, that's what the journalist does, or the spy.
So yeah, Homer ends up dancing on the table with Cashmere, and Bart gets a picture of it.
Yeah.
And the next day, Bart joins the camera club at school because he needs to get the pictures developed. And they're pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't get any clips of them, I don't think, but they're
in the red room. Martin is there. There's another Martin Prince.
They're like, how exciting when they like look at it or something like that.
Yeah, he's into it.
Yeah,
See, I was reading online.
That reminds me of this by a certain I
was reading online some people saying that Martin is gay. I think it's more so that he's just supposed to be like an effeminate kind of like mincing nerd than actually gay. So I'm not surprised that he's like, oh, Princess Cashmere. And then also it's fun to see Bart interact with different characters. He really, I knew that he was the breakout star, but like you see why when you watch the early seasons. He really is given the most fun things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think too, it's interesting when you follow the rest of this episode, like just I get it's a cartoon, so it's a farce, but like just the amount of travel that this photo gets, being something that's not really that over the top. It's like, they both have their clothes on, they're both just dancing, but you're talking, pre-internet, pre-other way to get information, and just like the amount of traction that this photo gets among like everybody, adults and kids like alike, right?
Yeah.
Also, speaking, you said small town, Davan. I did check, and I didn't misremember the quote. Lisa says, and she rolls out a map to show us. So maybe the gag is that the whoever's doing the geography for the Springfield desert fucked up and wrote it wrong in the book. But it's also possible the gag is just how absurdly large that desert is. It's just,
Homer got lost.
It's like continent size.
Could have died.
It's like the size of Australia.
So Bart gets his copies, and Milhouse wants one. And then
everybody gets one.
Guy, like the kid with the tiny eyes.
Yeah. Also, before we go,
he wants one too. He's just like,
oh, you go. I was just gonna say Carl. We saw Carl briefly.
Oh yeah, and his voice is mess. I forgot that till you mentioned it again.
Sorry, Davan.
No worries, man. You're right. We did see Carl. So everyone's getting copies because Bart's just getting guilted into giving people copies, and those copies, people are making copies of those copies and stuff. So there's just copies everywhere. It's like an absurd amount of copies.
People are handing around the office at work and shit like that.
There's one posted on the bulletin board at Marge's gym. Like that's like how insane is that? Like you were saying how it's traveling, Francis, but that like the places it's going is what's hilarious. It's not like kids are passing around in school. It's like they're posting it on like business bulletin boards.
Yeah, no, it's outrageous.
I will say it is I'm trying to imagine if this was real life. If I saw a picture of a beautiful like burlesque dancer and then a very fat man who was obviously drunk holding money dancing with her on a table, like that's actually really funny. Like so I could kind of understand why that was being spread. But it is kind
I don't know. I think it part of speaks to the times to it. I mean, it's also like, again, I said, it's pre-internet. The adults, I think, is a little far-fetched. They're spreading it. But I remember like once in junior high, somebody had like one page ripped out of like a Playboy, and that shit made the rounds around the whole fucking schoolyard. And if you didn't see it, you were hearing about it. It's like, oh, we got to find so-and-so. He's got this photo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just, that was, and Bart and his peers are even younger than that, right?
Yeah.
So then Homer's coming home after Marge has seen this scandalous photo.
Yeah,
What is the meaning of this?
It's meaningless, Marge. Don't even attempt to find meaning in it. There's nothing between me and Princess Cashmere.
Don't even attempt to find meaning in it. Yeah, so he's in
I like how
trouble.
he calls her by
Marge
name,
is
too.
kind of going a bit off the rails here. She didn't ask.
He does a terrible job defending himself here too.
He does. Marge is being a bit extreme. She knew he was going
Well,
to
maybe, but he still, I think, he probably shouldn't have been dancing with Princess Cashmere. He's a married man. At the very least, he should have been more honest with Marge about what kind of bachelor party.
Well, I think the issue is less that what he did, which is he obviously has remorse for, but the fact that she's embarrassed because it's all over town. So now she looks like really bad. Like, you know what I mean? Less about that he did
really,
what a lot of guys probably do at their bachelor party, but she's mad because it's gotten out around everywhere and she looks fucking stupid, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's embarrassing for her. Imagine what Patty and Selma would think. We don't get their point of view this episode, but I'm sure they had a good.
They would have been great additions to this episode.
That would have been that would have been funny.
They have great additions to every episode. I love Patty and Selma.
They're a great duo, actually.
Yeah. So Marge is giving him the riot act there and kicking him out, throws his stuff at him.
Yeah.
And then
he goes to
leaves
Barney's.
and comes back and throws him a Kleenex.
Oh, I knew you'd come to your...
If you have any soul left, you'll need these. I know I will.
That's pretty dramatic. Marge.
Like, shut up, Homer. That was the worst thing to say.
Yeah. He's bad. He never knows what to say. He doesn't seem like he means bad ever, really. Like, I don't think when he was dancing with Princess Cashmere that he was like, oh, I'm going to sleep with this woman and cheat on Marge. I think he's just
certainly not.
Caught up in the
He's
moment.
just an idiot, yeah.
Kind of like when we see the women falling at him in the car. He's like, oh, still got it. Like, I think he was just like,
still got it.
For him. He felt young again, maybe. That's all. But, like, he definitely doesn't know how to console Marge, who was angry at him justifiably for his...
Not at all. So then cuts to Mose, and it's ladies' night.
What's the matter, Homer? Hottest ladies' night in months, and you're not even checking out the action.
It's just this one really haggard.
Not even checking out the action.
Sad, looking really sad, which is, I think, also
sad, man.
Just staring down at her drink, like, clearly led a rough life.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Hottest ladies' night in months.
I know. What does that mean? Like, if there's just been no ladies?
How often do you see ladies at Moe's?
Well, he says something, I forget the exact year, but when he's the boxing instructor, he turns the ladies' room into his office. He's like, then I realized we ain't had no ladies in here since 1969 or something like that.
Oh, yeah. His office is the ladies' bathroom. That's where that's where we get your favorite joke, the stinger.
The boxing episode might be a 10 for me. That one's really.
I think I comfortably put it at 10 as well, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah. So Barney's just like, oh, you gotta come stay with me. Let my buddy go to some crappy motel. You're gonna come to my place, which is fantastic and clean.
Yeah, we see how terrible it is. The joke there is clearly he'd be better off going to a hotel.
Going to the hotel, for sure.
If you get hungry in the middle of the night, there's an open beer in the fridge.
If you're hungry, there's an open beer.
Well, man, this is a pretty good episode, fellas.
It is pretty funny. Yeah, I really dig this one.
And then he's like complaining to Barney and stuff, and Barney just calls Marge up.
Hello, Marge. You left your damn porch light on. Barney! Homer's not making money, you know.
I forgot about that.
Homer's being all romantic. He's just like, Barney, you see the lights on the hill up there? That really bright one is, or the blinky, the bright one.
The porch
light.
No, the one despite the fact
that's not
that the
on
Simpsons Wikipedia says they don't even have a porch. Come on, writers.
Yeah, they don't have a porch.
Get your continuity straight. Next thing you're gonna tell me is that room that Homer runs into when the car is chasing him doesn't go anywhere. There's also that one sunroom that is pictured on the exterior that they like hardly ever use. It's very, very rarely featured in the show.
solarium, if you will.
The solarium. Yeah. I like that word.
I do too. I try to say solarium as often as I can. So then, this episode gets a bit sad, and there's a lot of heart in this episode because Homer does go home just to get something to eat and stuff, and see the kids. And the kids are really
to Marge.
I wonder when Dad's coming home.
Those eating noises really, for somebody who's like noise sensitive, But
play it again, Dev.
No,
play it again. I won't do that to you, self-styled Valentino.
So what is it Frank Sinatra says? That's life. Sorry, kids.
It's what all the people say.
Francis,
you're flying high in April, shot down in May.
Sometimes you'll break
one
up.
of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I do. I do like, however, every time in the series that Homer gets kicked out, his life is in shambles within like 72 hours, like just falling apart. Absolutely cannot take care of himself.
He needs Marge or a Marge-like figure to take care of him, which, that's kind of an indictment of his, like he's not really an adult. He's kind of a man-child.
Yeah.
Says, I'm going to change that too.
It is a great song, Gavin. I'm sorry for. No, you're welcome.
Yeah,
you've seen Joker, right? I know you're not a big DC guy.
No, I haven't seen it.
Joker was good. Well, I liked it.
Yeah, you would. I think like it.
Isn't it just Taxi Driver, but with Joker instead?
Yeah, and but Taxi Driver was a good movie, right? So
sure.
I'd say
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, there's some similar themes, but I liked it because it was how can I put this? It didn't seem like a superhero or supervillain movie. Like it was just a movie about a guy descending into madness. And then at the end, there's a little bit that kind of sets it up for him to become the Joker, to become a supervillain. Like you sort of see people catching on and following him, but it wasn't like, oh, hey, it didn't seem like a villain origin story. It could have been without the face paint and without the Joker stuff that we already know. It could have just been a movie about a guy losing his mind, and that could have been it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well said. This is not a Joker podcast, so I didn't want to start making the discussion up. But just because that song is featured in it, so that's why I brought it up.
Well, now we get to my favorite scene.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
C. Montgomery Burns.
What in blue blazes do you think you're doing, Simpson?
What do you mean, sir?
I mean this. A plant employee carrying on like an oversexed orangutan in heat.
That should have been mine.
That should have been it. Yeah, we all messed up.
Oh no, I'm changing my name right now.
Can you change
yourselves? Yes. I'm just getting there first. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I change my name.
There's nothing to talk about. You're stealing the best name in the fucking episode.
You're right, I am. I'm your host, the oversexed orangutan in heat.
I like it.
Or if you're the great Attenborough.
David?
Not Richard Attenborough, his brother.
David Attenborough. This time I got the name correct.
Since you work at the museum, do you have to say orangutan? No.
I just
Baker's like, I do what I want. I run that place.
I do what I want. But yeah, so yeah, it's even gotten to Monty Burns this picture. And then
our research indicates over 50% of our power is used by women. I will not have you offending my customers with your bloody shenanigans.
It won't happen again, sir, I promise.
50% of our power is used by women.
Consumed by women. It's because there's just over 50% of the population of women.
But I like how he puts on this act in front of Smithers, and then he dismisses him to be like, I need your help.
Yeah. Well.
You seem to have a way with women, a certain, how shall I put it, animal magnetism.
Okay, so that's my favorite probably line in this episode because it's the one I've used. I've said animal magnetism so many friggin' times in my life.
Why does he say it like that?
Because it's Monty Burns. It's probably how they said it in 1840 when he was young.
Sir, most of those baseball players have since retired and passed away.
He wants Satchel Paige.
That's my favorite
Satchel
episode.
Paige.
Yeah. So yeah, Mr. Burns, very out of touch, wants Homer to be the
animal magnetism. So
and Homer doesn't know what to tell him.
Yeah, he's just like, look, I'm a successful man by most people's standards, but I don't have a way with women. There, Homer, just tell me how you do it.
Homer's just like,
I don't know, like
the most basic stuff ever, right? Poetry, flowers,
get some flowers,
flowers. Yeah.
I don't really know, sir. Simpson! Well, wine 'em, dine 'em, bring 'em flowers, write 'em love poetry, sir.
Of course.
But they can buy themselves flowers.
I won't forget
Simplicity itself. I won't forget this. Of course, he always says that. Every time he deals with Homer, he always just says, like, I won't forget you, Simpson. I won't forget
He
you.
does.
This is the first time I think that Mr. Burns is introduced as being like, or no, maybe it's the second time. But yeah, they're already got that gag in full swing. He doesn't know who Homer is. He never remembers.
No, but I think you're right. This might be the first time because Smithers always has that like he's one of your boobs from Sector 7G, and it's always something different. I think this is the first time he addressed him that way because he's like, "Who is this?" And he's just like, "Oh, it's one of your pencil pushers." It's not something really insulting yet. But, like, I think this is the start of the gag. Yeah, clock punchers. Yeah.
Yeah, they start getting very, very insulting.
He eventually does.
One of your drones. I know that's one where he says,
Look, I'm here because I want to apologize for treating you like an object.
Uh-huh.
So Marge sends Homer to take Bart to go meet Princess Cashmere and apologize to her.
Honestly, Marge is in the right place. Sorry, Dad. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Well,
No,
you can
fine.
get to that.
I think it might be saying something along the lines I was saying. It's like it's a funny gag that she doesn't want Bart exposed to this, so she asks Homer to take him to apologize. But in trying to find her, he gets exposed to more lewdness than he ever would have found just from that photo because like the 8 or 9 different places they have to go to in order to track this woman down.
Yeah.
It's like it's funny what that guy says though. He's just like, look, I'm just here to teach my kid about treating women as objects, and the buddy's just like, that's a great idea. Oh man, they're in this seedy part of town.
This is a very funny episode.
Oh man, it really is.
And then when he asks her about herself, she does like a total like Playboy rundown. She's like, well, my turn-ons are such and such, whatever.
She's actually incredibly one-dimensional. Like she's not the kind of woman that Marge had in mind. And yeah, I'll hold my point for our segment. What's the point? But yeah.
Oh, I could love I could love a Chinese girl and it's
Well, and again, to Springfield being like, what size is it? Why do they have these giant Vegas-style Broadway shows like going on just like a regular night in town?
It's whatever size is convenient for the writers.
Sex cauldron.
Sex cauldron. Man, that joke is again probably one that I
that's cherished
all the time. I love it.
It's just even better because it's Krusty who says it.
I hope that place never closes down.
So Homer found her at this place and gets taken up on her cage that she's in. Falls off.
She's trying to stomp his fingers out too. She doesn't care if he
she's
drops
stomping
and
him out
dies.
hard. Yeah,
she's like, my boss will freak out.
I'm gonna freak out. And then,
ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to have a real swinging cat with us tonight, Homer Simpson, party guy.
This is hilarious. He immediately was like, "Oh,
he's like the biggest celebrity in town. Like everyone knows. People are in the crowd, like, that's the guy from the picture.
That's the guy from the picture. His buddy was about to stomp him out before he realized it was him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
the
then
kid.
they get. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we forgot about that. He goes to the he goes to the quickie mart, and people are like taunting him. Yeah, that's classic. Do. So then Homer gets sucked into the show again. It's just like the bachelor party all over again, where he's dancing with the girls, and then.
How does he do it, Smithers?
He's a love machine, sir.
He's a love machine, sir. Can't
That's
believe none of
another
us
good
picked love machine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there was so many good ones. There was a lot of good ones.
This is a good episode. This one holds up pretty well, I think.
Yeah, comedic wise, this one fires on all cylinders. I don't know if I would say this is like got a lot of heart. It tries to have some heart.
Well, we'll talk about that in the ratings.
They are our wives. They are our daughters, our sisters, our grandmas, our aunts, our nieces and nephews. Well, not our nephews.
Not our nephews.
There's your heart.
Maybe
There's
now.
your heart, Baker. So Homer decides to tell. He sees Marge. Marge is for some reason at this burlesque house as well.
Maybe to see if Homer did it correctly or if he.
Probably. Was she like following them the whole time? Like,
yeah, it's weird. She
maybe she had the spy camera. You know? Hey.
Okay.
Just like she had the gun.
So Homer, he means it though. He's not making this shit up. He does love Marge more than like any of these girls or anything.
Oh, for sure. I don't think Homer for a second wanted to sleep with Princess Cashmere. I think he's just
Marge a hot cookie too.
Yeah. Well, that's another one where it's like sometimes she's I think hotter than it's like based on how much the writers want her to have like sex appeal kind of.
Yeah, but I mean, throughout they say a lot of times for this series, like other men will comment on how attractive Marge is and how.
Hey, Midge.
So I think the standing idea, whether they can translate it to the animation or not, is that she's supposed to be a fairly attractive woman, and Homer is not her equal on that level.
Mo and his crush on Marge is one of my favorite recurring gags.
Yeah, he can never get her name right, even though he's in love with her.
Well, no, it's I think it's an affectionate, like, hey, Midge.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's supposed to be like a pet. Like a pet name.
Homer, I thought you were dead. She said you were dead.
Dude, when he walks in, that's a classic. That's become a big visual meme as well. When he walks in, he's in that bedraggled outfit, and his hair is all fucked up, and he just like looks down, and he's got that like blank, almost like fisheye stare, where he's like, Homer. It's like he barely has any intelligence behind those eyes.
Yeah.
I would rather feel the sweet breath of my beautiful wife on the back of my neck as I sleep than stuff dollar bills into some stranger's G-string.
Hey, yeah, poignant.
There's the beautiful ending. Marge runs up on stage, and Bart's
that weird
like, only a
Sphinx thing in
weirdo
the
would want to
background.
watch my folks kiss. Get out of here. Hey, this is gross. So, yeah, that was the episode, fellas.
Yep.
Let's move
It was
on
decent.
to our. Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
Send in those soulful and doleful schmotes by the bowlful.
They're already
There's a few different to choose from here, fellas. Quite a few guest stars in this one. Why don't you go first, Francis?
I don't know if we have a name for this guy, but I've always loved the guy who's leading that cabaret dance, who hugs him and is like Homer Simpson party guy. I don't know. That guy's always made me laugh. I like that at first he's so mad that the show is being interrupted. Then as soon as he realizes Homer's like, oh, this is totally okay. But I don't know, I've always found that guy funny.
We have a legend here tonight, folks. Like
Gulliver Dark.
Bachelor party that happened like a week ago.
Did you just give us a name, Baker?
Yeah, Gulliver Dark. And
Gulliver
he's
Dark.
also
Okay.
the singer for Tito Puente's band for the.
Oh, he is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Friends.
Yeah. Why wound him with bullets when I can set his soul afire with the slanderous mambo?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll go. That's a good pick.
Yeah,
that's
that
a
was gonna
good
be my
catch
pick.
there, Baker. That he sings for the Mambo band too. I never realized that. That's nuts.
Well, what about you, Baker?
Well, I was actually going to
Spotlight.
pick him, but I guess I'll go with the sleazy cable salesman. You see him very briefly when Homer is walking outside the Quickie Mart, and he's like doing this, and he's got a butt crack sticking out. We'll later see him in the episode where Homer steals cable. So yeah, he's a fun character.
I'm gonna have to go with C. Monty Burns.
Burns is good in this one. He is. It's the first time we see a softer side to him where he has more dimension than just being this old angry crook.
You get that every now and then from Burns, where he's really just sort of a sad old man. And
a lot of romance episodes with Burns. Burns and Marge. Burns and Marge's mom. What is some other one? There's definitely more.
Jacqueline Bouvier.
Yes, Jacqueline Bouvier. The original owner of Jub Jub. We established this.
Yeah.
Jub.
He was willed to Selma.
What if your family don't like bread? It's funny because it's true.
Well absorbed.
Get your hand off my car.
Oh my God. What if your family don't like bread? What if they like memes?
I like the revamped intro, Davan. Good work. Yeah, pull up the meme. I already just touched on this a second ago, but
we're pulling it out.
I like this guy, the Homer Simpson part. That's another quote that has stuck with me for years. I've always said, and people are like, "The fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, it's that one obscure point in that one episode from season 1. Homer
Ladies and gentlemen,
Dancing with Princess
it's an
Cashmere.
honor to have a real swinging cat with us tonight, Homer Simpson, party guy.
Because he's so sincere.
I think he even sobs a little bit. Yeah, like he loves him.
Like a long lost brother. Like,
yeah,
he's just like, I love this man, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, exactly.
Fellow swinging
swinger
cat.
in arms. Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good pick because I agree. Party guy. He just loves him so much. It's a hilarious, subtle.
And he's like giving him that title. That's like, like there's no officialness to it, but he's like Homer Simpson party guy. He's like, you all know who he is.
Yeah, you all know who's here with us tonight.
What's crazy is they all know his name too. After all these photos and everything, like
how'd they get his name?
That is interesting. Never thought about that. But I should.
That doesn't make any sense. Good
Just
catch,
wondering,
man.
what's the point?
I just thought of that now.
Would it make any difference at all if I never existed? How can we sleep at night when there's so much suffering in the world?
What's the point, Baker?
Well, we could talk about domestic issues, but we're going to get more episodes about domestic issues. I thought I'd talk about the objectification of women, the male gaze, super fun stuff. I know I don't want to harp on it too much, but I do think this is a good example of like 90s media where like, yeah, the moral is in the right place, but it's a bit, I feel like a little tone deaf when the episode ends in that like burlesque house and like, I don't know.
Speech almost makes up for it though. Like he does have a nice
speech is definitely in the right place. I do think though this is something to be like aware of going into future episodes is how women are represented. It's good to see that the Simpsons is conscious that they can sometimes be represented.
Yeah, but it's kind of, it's like you said, it's a little tone deaf. It's like the ultimate thing is like, oh, hey, respect women, but there's also a little bit undertone of like, yeah, boys are going to be boys though. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's expected the boys will be boys. That's sort of what I'm getting at is you have a bit of that locker room.
They didn't go all in on the message.
I'm not a Puritan. I'm not here to preach to the audience, but I'm just asking them to, hey, maybe think about that. It's something to consider going forward.
Simpsons certainly has strong female characters, and certainly
it does.
Like Lisa has the most agency of anyone on this show.
Yes, but also, well, I don't know, but she has the most moral, she's the most morally upstanding.
At least in later seasons.
I don't know about agency because she's an 8-year, like she doesn't get to do whatever she wants.
But again, here's the catch-22 with that. Again, is like Lisa's probably one of the smartest, most capable people on the show, but like spends is constantly dismissed and like undervalued for having that, right?
She has no agency. She's the most intelligent, but she's constantly getting undermined by all the dumber, older Simpsons. All right, and then the last thing I'll say, remember, Mimi Pond wrote the original episode, and then according to her, she was shut out of the writer's room because she was a woman. Whether or not that's true, I don't know.
I mean,
something to consider.
A boys' club. Who knows?
Yeah, it could have been a bit of a boys' club, but they were cranking out hilarious comedy. You know, like
they did.
So I'm not here to judge. But yeah. So anyway, Dab, that's my point for the week.
All right, good points there, Dr. Baker.
Thank you, sir.
The Greeks knew it. The Carthaginians knew it. Now you know it.
I will teach you.
You're a very good teacher.
Yes, I am a very good teacher, and I can teach you everything.
That's so much innuendo in that. Like, Jesus.
He's like.
I never realized how slutty that sentence is before.
Oh man, everything he says is innuendo.
Yeah.
So I got myself an old school comic book here. This is actually my first John Byrne on X-Men number 108.
Is that what Bart was reading?
It of course has all the insane ads that old comics had. So let's just see what we have.
That's what Bart was looking at when he saw the spy camera.
Yeah. I remember those too, Davan. Those classic old ads, like Yellow
Muscles
Pages
fast.
Style.
Build muscles fast. Details for 35 cents.
It's in a comic book. It has to be good.
Judo, Savate, Jiu-Jitsu, the greatest self-defense system known to man. Free book. We've got cartoon for money. We've got poems set to music. The marketplace we have here. We've got some kites for sale. We've got homework, big money. Just gotta do your homework for you.
You could be anywhere in the country. I'll do your homework for you by mail.
Oh man, I know. Some of these things are crazy. An Atlas body in 7 days. How about that? How about model rockets? Come fly with us.
Yeah.
Model rockets are kind of good. I want to get Andre. So I want to get one of those like
7 days.
I want one of those old school like science rockets to get to shoot up in the air, but all I can find is those ones that you like. They have the foot pump and you step on them, and they shoot in the reusable. Might be better, but I want one of those like.
You can just make those ones. We made those ones back in school.
Yeah, maybe we should just gotta look up how to do it. I want to do one of those Andre this summer.
Yeah, those things fly. Those are pretty great. Learn law enforcement. How about 25 live seahorses for $2.98?
So there's a lot of insane. Yeah, you get anything.
Make your own severed finger keychain. Looks and feels real.
Okay, we're not topping that. How
about the switchblade comb?
Whoa!
If you read far enough down, though, you get mail order cocaine and mescaline too. Just keep going. It's on like page 3. It's a small ad, but it's down there.
Here's the guns. Here's the guns for kids.
Shooting Daisy, yeah.
Can't see any problem there.
The sport a boy grows up with, shooting a daisy.
I can't think of
Anyway, I think I've gone on enough here, but comic advertisements were crazy. That wasn't even a gag. You could find I've seen spy cameras in here. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that wasn't even a gag. That was just like this is a regular thing a 10-year-old would be looking through, and
it's
he found a spy camera.
Was it a paid?
During the gold rush. This is 1978.
Davan, put down the comic. You're gonna go. You can go all night.
Davan's ordering all of these as soon as we end the show. He's not denying it.
Where's my spy camera?
Where is my spy camera? I was promised a spy. I was promised a mountain bike, actually.
Yeah, and an elephant.
Okay, I can use this one from the Franco-Prussian War.
May I ask you a bold question?
This is bold questions with New Jacques Brunswick. All right.
Did you rename this segment?
Yes, I do. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, can we just get rid of this segment? I never win. It's embarrassing for me. We get it.
Well, we don't, or not do it
Definitely
every
not,
episode.
Yes, we do.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, let's
Don't
go.
worry, we have guests
go.
and guests. Cousin Dave's joining us next episode, so
Cousin Dave will be
he
good
beat
at that.
Francis
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah. Cousin Dave
All
will
right,
be good
and
at
Baker,
that.
you've actually done quite well at a bunch of these.
Oh yeah, he
so-
beat me last time, didn't he?
I didn't beat you, I don't think. Did I?
No, Cousin Dave. I
got
mean, he
close.
won, didn't he?
Oh. Okay. Well, we got this. Let's go.
Okay, what is the name of Homer's mother?
Jacqueline. Or no,
that's Marge's mother.
Marge.
That's Marge.
Beatrice?
Money May. I don't know her actual name. I can remember aliases.
Dang, all right,
Mona,
Mona.
yes.
Dang. Next one. Come on.
Okay, next one.
Rapid fire.
What is Lisa's IQ? 159, 161, or 163?
I said it first. 163.
Baker did say it first.
Oh, we were both wrong. All right.
You guys
Next
think
one.
she's way smarter than she is. All right.
I mean, those are
Number
all
3.
very close.
It's
Yeah.
What is Bart's middle name?
Jay.
Is it Jay? But what is it short? In that case, Robert? No. Joe?
No
what?
way.
Oh,
No
my
way.
Joe
God.
Simpson. Yes, it is.
That has to be from a way later season.
It's
Yeah, where do they establish that? That's nuts.
I'm not sure. After babysitting Bart and Lisa, what did Lionel
Sanchez.
Hutz rename him?
Miguel Sanchez.
Yeah.
Francis gets it, Miguel
Miguel.
Sanchez.
No, Francis.
That should be a tie. He
Sanchez
said
wasn't
Sanchez. That should be
No.
a tie.
You rolled back. You didn't say. You said Milo. You didn't even say Miguel.
No, I said
He
Miguel.
said Miguel. Yeah, Franny gets the point. All right. Number 5.
Sweating. This was close.
What is the name of Mr. Burns'
Bobo.
teddy bear? All right.
All right, there you
Second
go.
point,
Francis got it.
You got to make sure, though, when you're bringing these up, you got to make sure you're saying them at the same time they're popping up at the bottom, because I don't know if we can answer when we're just reading it or we have to wait for you to
True.
say it. Or yeah.
6. What was
Apu de
Apu's name
Beaumarchais.
in
Apu de
Pizza?
Beaumarchais. Yeah.
Franny gets it. Apu de Beaumarchais. That's one of my favorite gags, too. Apu de Beaumarchais.
After they say Nahaspin Pedalon, it's like two. They're like, it'll never fit on a marquee, and then they give them that long ass French one.
All right.
But again,
Franny's up
this is-
3-0. There are 3 questions left, Baker, so you can tie it up. 7. What is the name of the motel in Springfield?
I don't remember. Motel 6.
It's the Sleep
Sleep
Easy
Easy
Motel.
Motel. That makes sense.
There is a Motel
Number
6.
8. What is the nickname given to Principal
Seymour.
Skinner by his mother?
Or
No,
no,
that's
it's
his
just,
actual name.
but she calls him that quite a bit.
Spanky.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't like it when he calls her that.
No, he doesn't like it.
right.
Last question. What
So
is
Francis-
the name of Homer's brother?
Oh,
Dang it. Well, I know the voice actor
Sam.
is Danny DeVito. Or, right? No.
Yeah, I think it was Danny
It is?
DeVito. Yeah.
sounds like him, yeah.
Herbert.
You guys
Herb.
know it.
Herb, yeah, you're right. You got it.
All right,
Herbert
so
Powell.
I feel a little better. But, yeah,
Baker
Davan,
comes in
we
at the
should
end with a
save
couple
these
points.
quizzes for when we have guests, because I'm never going to beat Francis. Or we can keep doing them. I don't
Or we do them less
Yeah, keep
frequently.
doing
We don't
them
need
anyway.
one every episode. We don't need one every
Losing is part of the fun.
Audience, let it be known that I'm bad. I'm terrible with, like, quick facts. I'm better with obscure anecdotes.
All
right,
now
ratings
let's rate
time.
our episode, fellas. All right. Oh, wait. Just talk amongst yourselves for a second while I bring this up.
Oh, my Lord.
Good episode.
So sweet.
I know.
But you know what? This is probably my favorite one so far.
Oh, wow.
I think
Well, it's
Ed
different because
laughed
there's
the most.
yeah, there's ones that you have like there's been ones that I had a warm spot in my heart for, but on actually having to grade it, I was like, oh, that falls sort of shorter than how I feel about it. This is probably the most with the balance between how I think it stands up as an episode, along with how like I remember it as a child.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a freaking great episode. All right, so can you guys see that?
No.
Oh, I didn't share it yet. That would be why. There we go.
There we go. All right, so let's do a
So,
quick run through.
Let's do it here. So where are we? Homer's Night Out. Oh, they're not all 10s. That's just preset. So
Yeah,
for
those are-
story,
yeah,
The story on this one, I mean, it's not super involved or anything, but it's not bad. I'm gonna give the story a 6.
I was also going to give it a 6.
Okay.
Took it right out of my
let's
mind.
Let's do stories across the board then. Let's do that.
Yeah, we should. I like doing them across the board and then going back.
I do too. Yeah. Right. So
I'll go 5 with story. But I'm with you guys. It's like it's good. It's not super involved. It's pretty good.
I loved the
one of the better ones this season.
I loved how the story spread. I loved Bart with the spy camera. I really did enjoy it.
That is a good, yeah, is a neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good story element actually with the spy camera and everything.
They haven't yet started doing that thing where like eventually they get to this like formula where the first 6 or 7 minutes of the story is a completely different storyline than the rest of it. That is just set up one gag that will carry through the rest of it. But like outside of this one thing that happens, that first 5 minutes is inconsequential. They haven't started doing that yet, but I always like that.
We're close.
Formula when it happens on.
Bart with the sky camera, it does tie in, but it is close to being irrelevant by the end.
Yeah, but there wasn't this entire storyline around him finding the spy camera. It was just him like looking in the magazine, right?
Yeah, it could have been a throwaway, but totally wasn't.
So anyway, the humor.
I'm giving the humor a 7. Quite good, but not quite as good as Life on the Fast Lane for me, which I gave an 8.
I think I'd put this one the same as Life in the Fast Lane. I'd put this at an 8. I don't want to put it higher than an 8 because I know there's so many funnier moments to come. But I laughed quite a bit. I do think that.
I did too.
Yeah, an 8 is.
You know what? You convinced me, Baker. I am going to give it an 8.
Classic Davan changing.
You guys are fucking just struggling to fit in, Davan. I'm gonna give it a 6.
I agree.
This is one of the higher marks. This is one of the higher marks I've given, like for this. But I mean, you guys know I'm really hard on these early episodes, man.
Yeah,
like, it's just,
I like it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just like comedy wise, the later ones are so much more up my alley. Not just because I think they're funnier, but like just in terms of my sense of humor, they connect with me more. I'm hard on these first ones, but for season 1, it's a really good score for me, a 5 and a 6.
I'm the Ruben Studdard. You are the Simon Cowell, and Davan is Paul Abdul.
We're going back to 7.
I'm just messing with you, Davan. I'm probably the Paul.
Going back to a 7. The heart, I think it actually had quite a bit of heart.
I know that's one where I feel like we have a bit of contention. Yeah, see, I would give this. I would actually just give this probably a 5. I wasn't really sold by the theme of this one too much.
Yeah, same here. I'm stuck between a 5 and a 6. I think maybe I'll up it up to a 6 because I think overall they're trying to portray a good message. Again, there's some kind of underhanded things that undermine what they're saying, but ultimately, and again, we have some good family stuff here. Marge and Homer flirting in the morning. Homer saying, take some responsibility and show your son what's responsible, even though doing that ends up with mishaps. I'll give it a 6 on the heart.
Yeah,
so
I stand by. I'm looking at my rating.
6.3 from Baker and a 5.7 from crusty old Francis.
So this is my 3rd rated episode behind Moaning.
So combined, we've given this one a 6.3, which is our second highest rated episode combined after the 7 of the last.
6.3 is good, I think. Honestly, like we're gonna get to
that is for a first season
funny
episode.
Yeah.
First episode to feature Carl Carlson and Princess Cashmere.
Carl with the weird voice.
Mm-hmm.
Carl!
I mean, it's still him.
Yeah,
it's still him.
He's great.
Like not Lenny.
Yeah.
All right. And
not
that's our show for
Lenny.
the night, people. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Plug away, Davan.
KBBBL podcast at gmail.com. The audio only version wherever you get your podcasts. And we are a proud member of the United Federation of Podcasts. And check out all those podcasts. There's a few of them here. Hold Up Movie Podcast. We're doing spy movies. Francis skipped out on us last week.
Yeah, I had technical problems.
That's true. As we
which are now
discussed on the
solved.
show. Baker can't stomach these promos, so he has to get out of here every time. Also, check out the Super Mater Brothers podcast, where they do reality show reviews and stuff like that. But we also do Marvel stuff. We're going to review Quantumania, Ant-Man 3, when it comes out here on the 17th. So check that out. Also check out X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show, where we review the X-Men animated review or animated show and interview people that were involved in that show. Check out Graphic Histories podcast. My co-host in the X-Men show, Andre, interviews many people from film and comics and all these cool things. And also check out the Hellbound Cup podcast with Alex Blackburn and Michael Chan for your horror fix. They got all kinds of fun stuff going on over there. Very funny fellas and interesting fellas. And Trivial Debates. It just happened. There was a reality show episode. They debated. They trivialized. I can't tell you who won, but someone won. And we have a whole network of Star Trek podcasts that live long and podcast. There's the Command Division, where we review shows. We're reviewing Deep Space Nine right now. We're about to review Picard because it's about to come back. You excited about Picard season 3, Francis?
You know what? I didn't make it through season 1, not because it wasn't good, but I only had Crave for a short period. But I need to rewatch it because I hear it's supposed to be really excellent.
Well, first season's okay. Second season's okay. This third season's going to be amazing because
that's what I've heard. I've heard it's supposed to be real good.
Getting the band back together. In the Science Division, we do fun stuff. We do trivia. We do debates. We do deep dives, Class L probes. You can learn. We tie Star Trek into the real world. And where we really do that is in the Cuters of Trek. Me and Dave Puxley. Sometimes Mr. Scott. We talk about all kinds of things. We play tunes, so sometimes Francis is one of the members of Plain Simple Tailors at times. One of the founding members, for sure.
Yeah.
Founding member.
Founding member.
And then in the Ops Division, we do Star Trek Radio Theater. I'm almost done the script for the Lower Decks comic book version, so that's going to be real fun. If it's a story you haven't heard, if you watch the show but don't read the comics, so that'll be very fun. Check that out, everybody. We'll might as well get out of here like Baker. What do you say, Francis?
Peace. Thanks for everything.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Later.
I could love a million girls, and every girl a twin. Yeah, I could love a Chinese girl and Eskimo or Finn. I could dig a Deutschland chick, a girl with golden curls. In fact, I think that we could love about a million girls.